So I'm Noah, and I'll be looking at the question, how does your racial identity and comfort level influence the people you work or study with? I've never really thought about my racial identity or how that had much to do with anything. I'm a mixed child, believe it or not, which may or may not have something to do with why I haven't thought about it too much until recently. My mother is Mexican American and my father is white. So from a very young age, I was engaged with people of different colors from me. So I never once looked like my mother. I came out extremely white with sandy brown hair, and there were some slight blonde curls that started coming in as I got older too. But that changed because then my hair got way darker over the years, mimicking my mom's black hair almost. It's not black, but dark brown. But other than that, I look pretty white, and because I look pretty white, I've never really identified with my Mexican side of me, just like the opposite of my sister, who looks exactly like my mother. So from a young age, I might have been pushing back against my Hispanic side when I look back on it. Never really enjoyed learning Spanish, and I would kind of do everything in my power to get out of learning it, much to my mother's dissatisfaction. My sister, on the other hand, enjoyed it, and she did everything she could to learn the language. But like I said, because I always looked white and I always felt like I was more white than my mom and sister, I always identified as white. And it wasn't really till last year that I really began to question it a bit more when I watched a movie called Black Klansman. And there was a line in the movie that got me really thinking. I don't remember the exact line that was said by the character, but essentially the character never really considered himself Jewish or thought much about it until a Klansman started saying hateful things about his people. And then from that point on in the movie, he was more conflicted with his identity as a Jewish person or not a Jewish person. And after I watched that, I really started questioning my own self because when I hear recent rhetoric towards people that are Mexicans that are usually outlandish or just completely false, I kind of find myself getting irritated as well, which I don't know why I would get irritated unless I didn't have identify with that part of me, I guess. Now, as far as I interact with other people of color at work or school, I can't really say I've thought about it much, and I don't think my racial identity plays a lot into it. I think it's more of just me interacting with people of different colors all my life. Most of my friends throughout my life have been either Korean, Mexican, or Filipino, or mixed, or just white like myself. I definitely had more friends that were of color than I had white friends, but I'd say it's about like 60-40%. Because of this, I just haven't had any problems with it at all, really. The only time I've been shocked by anything or had my comfort level tested with racialization was when I went to my first party at Wazoo, actually. And I remember it because I walked in, I looked around the apartment, I realized I was the only white guy there, and everyone else was staring at me because they knew I was the only white guy there too. So it was an interesting experience. It's probably good I did that. It was just like I got fine. I made friends with people there, but it was just when I first walked in there, it was I didn't know if they wanted me there or not, honestly. That's like my honest opinion. I didn't know if they wanted to have a white guy there. But yeah, that was the only time I've ever had any like comfort level kind of shifted or anything like that. So that about wraps up the video. I believe I answered the question, but maybe not. But yeah, my racial identity, I don't necessarily think deals with much on how I interact with others. I think it's more of just me having interacted with people in the past. So I've never really thought about how it influenced others till now, I guess. So this video is my explanation for it. That's all I got. Thanks.